the co-host of Outnumbered, Kayleigh McEnany, the co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, Charlie Kirk, both friends of the show. Kayleigh, we'll start with you and get your reaction to all of it. We all loved Charlie. Everybody loved Charlie.
We all knew him. We all loved him deeply. I knew him for 13 years, Sean. I received a text message from him yesterday when I was on the 5, and my takeaway from that exchange, it was brief, was just his absolute love for his family. I met Charlie when he was 18 years old. I was 6 years older at the time, and I remember he would go on Stuart Varney's show, and then I would go on, and we were the two millennial voices that would be on that program. And one day he said, "Hey, let's meet up. I want to tell you about something I'm starting." And I met with him at a restaurant called Fresh & Co. right by Fox. And he told me about Turning Point. And we couldn't imagine what that would become from that point on, this young man with an idea that became a movement. But Sean, my takeaway with Charlie is, we talk about left and right, and Charlie would point right. But more than that, Charlie pointed up. He had this authentic, real love for Jesus Christ, and his conservative philosophy was an outgrowth of that. But he would go to these campuses. I would speak at his women's event, and he would speak to lonely people who were lost on social media, felt empty, felt depressed on college campuses, and he would give them hope in Jesus Christ. And the last thing I would say, Sean, is I know that I know that I know that I know this. Charlie Kirk did not die today. Yes, he left his body. But I guarantee you, when he took his last breath, the first words that he heard were Jesus Christ saying, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." I'm thinking of Erica. She's a beautiful, beautiful mom, a beautiful woman, beautiful writer. I'm thinking of his kids. But I know where Charlie Kirk is today, and he is very, very much alive.
Nobody could say it any better. Well said, Kayleigh, and I agree with everything you said. Charlie, you knew him well. We knew him well. I know he is in paradise this day. I know we will see him again. I believe all that with all my heart, mind, and soul. I just hate the fact that evil took him today. I hate the fact that his children will not know the Father, as Melania eloquently put it. I hate the fact that this seems to be planned and orchestrated in a political assassination for a guy that just wanted open debate, and he did so with a smile.
Yeah, Sean, and quite frankly, I think that's why some people found him so threatening, because the people who engaged with him didn't find him threatening. He would do these events not because he hated people, but as Kayleigh just beautifully said, because he loved people, and he loved people who disagreed with him. And he didn't go to these things to try to score stupid, cheap political points or whatever. He went to listen, and he went to engage, and he went to try to find some sort of common ground and get people to just have real debate among themselves, and also to give confidence to people who for years had been shut down on college campuses and universities because of their beliefs, and people who were stripped of their voice and shouted down. And he did all of that with this sunny optimism, and as Kayleigh said, a love for Jesus and a love for his beautiful children and his beautiful wife and his parents. And I think that, the idea that somebody like him is a threat to very horrible, horrible forces in our country tells you that there's something really wrong. And I don't know how we reach those people and try to fix this, but something needs to be done, because this is not the way a free republic runs.
Yeah. Kayleigh, back to you. One of the things, he had a curiosity about him. The questions he would ask me most often, you've been at this a long time. How were you able to sustain, and build a career that has lasted when many others have not? And I said, okay, I'm going to give you the answer. And he'd say he wanted more information, always was digging for more. His curiosity was spectacular. His thirst for knowledge, spectacular.
I remember the first time I really got to listen to Charlie Kirk in an hour-long format. It was at a Florida political summit. And I was spellbound, Sean, at not just his communication. He was a great communicator, but his knowledge. He talked with passion, with depth, with fluidity, with no notes, walking across a stage about history and why he believed what he believed, why he was a Christian, why he was a conservative. I mean, I wanted to take notes the whole time. And you're exactly right. The questions he would ask, he wanted to know all about you, your family, why you were doing this. I just watched a clip where he was talking to a young man, and he turned the question on the young man and started asking him questions, and it was really a beautiful exchange. Charlie has left a mark. And I just want to say this. I want to quote his wife, because I mentioned to him yesterday, I just started following Erica on Instagram very, very closely over the last few months. She has a beautiful Instagram page. And she just said, he was the one. Thank you for being my love story. And she had this quote about the fleetingness of life.
Yeah.
The fleetingness of those years does not diminish them. It makes them luminous. Charlie Kirk lived the most luminous years. Luminous.
All right. Kayleigh, thank you. Charlie, thank you.